This conference will now be recorded.
Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Yasir Gulfraz and I'm your tutor for today's session, which is Operations and Information Management for Project Managers. Today we are discussing Level 4 Understanding uh, uh, Scheduling Operations for Project Manager. Today's lecture we will discuss what is scheduling for project managers. What is scheduling for project managers? Uh, the scheduling process began with defining the project scope and objectives, identifying the deliverables, and breaking down the work into smaller, manageable tasks. Project managers then establish dependencies between tasks, considering any sequential or parallel relationship. Dependencies help determine the order in which tasks should be performed and ensure that the project progresses smoothly. Once the task dependencies are established, project manager estimate the during of each task. This estimate task into account factors such as the complexity of the task, available resources, and any constraints or limitations that may affect the timelines. These estimates help in creating a realistic schedule and setting expectations for project stakeholders. Can you see my screen and everything? Is there anything? Okay. Just give me a second, please. Sorry about that. Yes. Now, what is scheduling? Now we are going to discuss an essential aspect of project management known as scheduling. Scheduling plays a crucial role in ensuring the successful uh, execution of any project, program, or portfolio. So, what exactly is scheduling? Well, a schedule can be defined as a timetable that outlines the projected start and finish dates for various activities, events with the project. Uh, it provides a structured timeline that guides the team towards accomplishing their objectives with a specified time frame. Anybody can hear me or can you see my screen? If you have any issues, please do let me know. Prepare a schedule. Project manager utilize various tools and techniques. They may employ scheduling software, such as Gantt charts or project management software to visualize and organize the activities. These tools allow them to establish dependencies between tasks, allocate resources effectively, and task progress throughout the project lifestyle. By creating a comprehensive schedule, project managers can identify critical paths, which are the sequences of activities that must be completed on time. They can also identify potential bottlenecks or areas where resources may be over allocated, allowing them to make necessary adjustments and optimize the project execution. Next one is explain what scheduling involves and the importance of good scheduling. Scheduling encompasses the allocation of time slots or durations for various tasks, activities, and process. It involves coordinating and arranging the utilization of equipment, facilities, and human resources in manners that optimize efficiency and minimize conflicts or bottlenecks. By carefully planning and organizing the timing of these resources, organizations can ensure smoother operations and uh, achieve their desired objectives. Now, why is good scheduling so vital? Let's take a closer look as it's important and the benefit it brings. First and foremost, good scheduling can lead to significant cost saving by efficiently managing the utilization of resources. Organizations can avoid unnecessary downtime, reduce idle time, and optimize the allocation of labor and equipment. This in turn helps minimize operational costs and minimize and return on investment. Secondly, effective scheduling results in increased productivity when tasks and activities are properly scheduled. It allows for a streamlined workflow, minimized waiting times, and improved conditions among different departments or teams. This enhanced efficiency boosts levels, allowing organizations to accomplish more within a given time frame. A good scheduling enables organizations to meet deadlines and customer demands more effectively. By carefully planning and allocating resources, organization can ensure timely completion of project or delivery of goods and services. This enhance customer satisfaction, strengthening relationship, and build a positive reputation in the market. Here, scheduling hierarchies, manufacturing services, aggregate planning, master schedule, master material requirement planning, monthly or weekly schedule, a shop floor schedule, daily schedule, high volume system, flow system, high volume system in which all jobs follow the same sequence. Uh, Particularly focus on flow systems are their scheduling. A flow system is characterized by a high volume of jobs or tasks that need to be completed, and what sets it apart is the fact that all these jobs uh, follow the same sequences. So, this means that each task must be executed in specific order and there is little room for variation. When it comes to scheduling in flow system, the primary objective is to achieve a smooth rate of flow of goods or customers through the systems. This smooth flow is essential to maximize the utilize of labor and equipment, ultimately leading to improve efficiency and productivity. So let's deliver deeper into the key aspect of hollow systems scheduling. The fundamental goal of flow system scheduling is to ensure that there are minimal delays or disruption in the flow of jobs. By carefully planning and coordinating the sequences of tasks, we can avoid bottlenecks and optimize the overall throughput of the system. The aim is to strike a balance between meeting customers' demands and utilizing available resources effectively. Another critical aspect of flow system scheduling is considering the independencies among tasks. Some tasks may rely on the completion of previous tasks while other can be executed in parallel. By identifying these dependencies, we can create a well-organized schedule that minimize idle time and keep the flow steady. Next one is intermediate volume system. Uh, Intermediate volume systems, these systems lie between high volume systems and job shops in terms of their output characteristics. Intermediate volume systems exhibit a unique combination of features that make them distinct in the manufacturing landscape. So what exactly are intermediate volume system? They are manufacturing system where the output falls between the standardized type of output seen in high volume systems and the make to order output typically found in job shops. In other words, they strike a balance between mass production and customized manufacturing. Unlike high volume systems that operate continuously, intermediate volume systems have output rates that are insufficient to justify continuous production. Instead, it is more cost effective to produce intermediately. This means that the production runs are periodically scheduled based on demand fluctuations and market needs. Can you hear me and see my screen? Anybody there? Okay. Now, low volume system job shop scheduling. Scheduling for low volume system with many variation in requirements. Uh, Unlike mass communication system, low volume system cater to customized products tailored to meet specific customer demands. This means that the processing requirements, material requirements, processing time, and even the processing sequence and steps can vary significantly from one product to another. In such a dynamic scenario, scheduling becomes a critical aspect of managing operating effectively. As the name suggests, job shop scheduling involves assigning tasks and allocating resources to ensure timely completion of customer orders. In low volume system, the challenge lies in the sheer complexity of the scheduling process due to vast number of product variation. Since make-to-order products are not produced in advance, the scheduling process cannot rely on predefined schedules. Instead, scheduling decisions must be made on the fly. Once the actual job orders are received, there requires a high degree of flexibility and adaptability to adjust the production's plan according to specific requirements of each order. To tackle the complex scheduling environment, companies need robust systems and tools that can handle the variability and ensure efficient utilization of resources. Advanced scheduling algorithms such as heuristic approaches or genetic algorithms can be employed to optimize the allocation of tasks and resources based on various factors like processing time, material availability, and processing sequences. Uh, Next one is forward scheduling approach or forward scheduling. So scheduling ahead from some point in time used when the question is how long will it take to complete this job. Backward scheduling backward from some due date used when the question is when in the latest this job can be started and still be completed on time. Uh, Forward scheduling involves scheduling tasks in chronological order, starting from a specific point in time and moving forward. This method is particularly useful when we want to answer the question, how long will it take to complete this job? In other words, we determine the earlier start date for each task and calculate the overall project duration based on the estimated time for each activity. The key steps involved in forward schedulings are identifying task dependencies, determine task durations, calculate start dates, evaluate project timeline. So, backward scheduling, on the other hand, involves scheduling tasks in reverse order, starting from a given due date or project completion deadline. This method is employed when we want to answer the question, when is the latest this job can be started and still be completed on time. How backward scheduling is typically executed. Define the project deadline, identify task dependencies, and then calculate task deadlines and finally evaluate project timelines. Next one is managing workflows, input, output control. Managing workflow and queues are at work centers without input or output control. So if demand increased exceeds processing capacity, a work center overload is created. If work arrives more slowly than a work center can handle, work can be uh, sorry, sorry. So this goal is it works more slowly. A work center can handle, work center utilizations results. The goal is to strike a balance between input and output rates in order to minimize queues and maximize utilizations. Uh, In and output control refers to the management of workflows, queues at work centers. Without proper input or output controls, we can encounter two major problems: work center overload and work center underutilization. So when the demand for work exceeds the processing capacity of a work center, we create a work center overload. This leads to a backlog of tasks, delays in processing, and decreased overall productivity. On the other hand, if work arrives more slowly than a work center can handle, we face work center underutilization. This means that the work center is not operating at its full potential, resulting in wasted resources and inefficiency. Workflows model to achieve optimal assignment of tasks and resources, various workflows models can become employed to uh, Used models are assignments model and the Hungarian methods. Uh, Assignment models is a linear programming model that helps us determine the optimal assignment of tasks and resources. It involves assigning tasks to available resources in a way that minimize cost or maximize efficiency. This model task this model this model takes into account factors such as task requirements, resources, capabilities, and cost consideration to find the best possible assignment. So, and on another hand, Hungarian method for assigning Hungarian method is a specific algorithm used to solve assignment problem by achieving a one for one matching. It is particularly useful uh, when dealing with the large scale assignment scenario where finding the lowest cost or most efficient solution is crucial. Next one is scheduling difficulties. There are several factors. Uh, there are several factors that contribute to the difficulty of scheduling, such as variability in setup times, processing times, interpretation, and changes in the set of goals. Uh, by addressing the issue of setup times when it comes to scheduling, the times required to set up a particular task or operations can vary significantly. Some tasks may require extensive preparation and equipment configuration, while other may be relatively quick to set up. So this variability in setup times adds an element of uncertainty and makes it challenging to accurately predict how long it will take to complete a particular job. Next one is scheduling service operation, customer demands, demand management, appointment system, control, customer control, customer arrives for services, reservation system, enable service system or formulate a fairly accurate estimate demand on the system for a given time period. Scheduling the workforce capacity management, cycling scheduling employees are assigned to work shifts or time slots and have days off and a repeating basis. Cyclical scheduling. So, cycling in many environment, the scheduling requires are fairly similar. For example, hospitals, police, fire departments, restaurants, supermarkets. Uh, Rotating schedule set a scheduling horizon and identify the work pattern, uh, develop a basic employee schedule, assign employees to the schedule. So first set a schedule horizon. The first step is cycling schedule is establishing a schedule horizon. This horizon defines the duration for which the schedule will be created, and it could be a week, month, or any other relevant time frame based on the specific industry needs. Identify the work pattern. Once the schedule horizon is determined, it is essential to identify the work pattern. This entails understanding the recurring shift, rotating, or work cycle that exist within the organizations. For example, hospital might have day and night shift, while a restaurant could have morning, afternoon, and evening shifts. Next one is we will discuss about uh, operation strategy. If scheduling is done well, goods and services uh, can be made and delivered in a timely manner. Resources can be used to best advantages, and customers will be satisfied. So it is important to overlook the importance of scheduling to strategy and competitive advantages. Any questions so far, or any uh, issues? Can you see my screen? Okay. When scheduling, when done effectively, holds a tremendous potential for ensuring timely production and delivery of goods and services, optimizing resources utilizations, and ultimately satisfying customer. So we will explore the significance of scheduling in achieving these objectives and its profound impact on overall success of an organization. So fundamental benefits that affect efficient scheduling begins to the table. First and foremost, timely production and delivery are pivotal in meeting customer demands in a world driven by fast-paced market and heightened customer expectations. Begin being able to deliver products and services on time is critical for customer satisfaction and loyalty. By strategically managing schedules, organizations can ensure that their offering reach the market promptly, meeting customers' need and surpassing expectations. Effective scheduling enables optimal resources allocations. Resources, be it labor, machinery, or raw material, are often limited and valuable assets for any organization. Scheduling plays a vital role in aligning these resources to their fullest potential, ensuring their optimal utilization. So, this not only leads to cost saving but also maximize operational efficiency and productivity, thereby enhancing profitability. By scheduling resources effectively, organizations can minimize idle time, reduce bottlenecks, and create a streamlined workflow. Next one is compare product and service scheduling hierarchies. Scheduling is in project manager management is the listing of activities, deliverables, and milestones within a project. A schedule also usually includes the planned start and finish dates, duration, and resources assigned to each activity. Effective project schedule in a critical components of a successful time management. So when people discuss the process for building a schedule, they are usually referring to the sixth process of time management. So first one is a plan schedule management. This process involves defining how the project schedule will be created, monitored, and controlled. Next one is define project activities. We identify and list all the specific tasks required to complete the project. Next one, sequence activities. In this process, we determine the logical order and dependencies among project activities. The next is estimate resources. We assess the type of quantities of resources needed to execute each activity. Next is estimate duration. The process involves estimate the time required to complete each activity. Accurate duration estimation is crucial for developing a realistic project schedule. Next one is develop the project schedule. This is a final part. We integrate all the information gathered from the previous process to create a comprehensive project schedule. So the schedule includes start and finish dates for each activity, highlighting critical milestones and resource allocation. Operation schedules. Operation schedules. When we talk about scheduling within the operations function, we are referring to the utilization of equipment and facilities, managing human activities and coordinations, the recipes of a receipt of materials. It is important to note that scheduling is considered a short-term issue, unlike facility location and equipment acquisition, which are long-term consideration, or in aggregate planning, which falls under the intermediate terms. In the decision-making hierarchy, scheduling typically takes place as the final step in the transformation process before the actual output, such as finished good, is produced. Therefore, scheduling decisions are made within the constraints established by these long-term decisions. Scheduling focuses on managing processing times effectively. This involves determining the sequence of activities and tasks, considering their dependencies and requirements. By streamlining the sequence and reducing idle time between tasks, scheduling can enhance the overall efficiency and productivity of operations. Byron Finch notes that effective scheduling has recently increased in importance. So, first and foremost, the rise of lean manufacturing and just-in-time practices has contributed significantly to be increased emphasis on scheduling. These approaches focus on minimizing waste and optimizing efficiency by reducing inventory levels and adopting a just-in-time replenishment strategy. While these practices have their advantages, they have also introduced new challenges. Such challenges in the increased probability of stock outs with lower inventory level and margin for error become smaller, making effective scheduling all the more crucial. Importance of If you look at importance of effective scheduling in the context, effective scheduling plays a very important role in preventing stock outs and ensuring that businesses can meet the demands of their customers. By carefully coordinating production, logistics, and distribution activities, companies can optimize their operations and minimize the risk of delays or unavailability. Uh, Now, there are two general approaches to scheduling: forward scheduling and backward scheduling. As we already discussed about forward scheduling and backward scheduling, forward scheduling, the scheduling begins by selecting a planned order release date. From this point onwards, all activities are scheduling in a sequential manner. More moving forward in time, the scheduler consider various factors such as process lead time, including move queue and setup times, which collectively contribute to the job lead time. It is important to note that in forward scheduling, process time is assumed to occur at the end of overall process time. Uh, on the other hand, we have backward scheduling. In this approach, the scheduler starts with the planned receipts date or due date, which represent the time when the order needs to be completed or delivered. Working backward in time, the scheduler takes into account the required processing times for each activity until reaching the point where the order will be released. So, by considering these processing times, the scheduler ensures that all tasks be completed in a timely manner to meet the desired due date. But bear in mind, uh, it is very important to remember that scheduling is a complex process influenced by various factors. Next one is loading, refer to the crucial task of assigning jobs to appropriate work centers and machine for processing. When it may seem straightforward, when a job can be processed on only the machine, complexities arise when a job can be loaded on multiple work centers or machines, and there are several jobs to be processed simultaneously. In such cases, the assignment process become more intricate, required a systematic approach to optimize processing efficiency, minimize setup time, idle time, and overall throughput time. Uh, scheduler using Next one is scheduler using finite loading can then project the number of hours each work center will operate. Uh, in this approach, the scheduler finite loading. In this approach, the scheduler determines the project number of hours each work center will operate based on its capacity limitations. If a work center is expected to reach its minimized capacity, it means that the finite loading accurately reflects the upper limit of that particular work center capacity. This approach is suitable for firms that have limited capacity, such as those already running at maximum efficiency, perhaps with the three or more shifts approaching. Sequencing, a concept of sequencing which plays a vital role in determining the order in which jobs are processed. This applies not only to overall processing a job at work centers but also to the specific order of work processed at individual workstations. It becomes particularly complex when work centers are heavily loaded and lengthy jobs are involved. The order of processing can significantly impact the cost of waiting to be processed and the cost of idle time at work centers. We will explore six specific rules. Random rule, as the name suggests, this rule select any job from the queue with the equal probability. Moving on, probability. It is often used as a benchmark to compare the performance of other rules. Random selecting ensure a fair chance to each job to be processed, uh, but it doesn't consider any specific job characteristics or priorities. Moving on to first come and first served rule, it prioritizes job based on their arrival order. In this rule, first job that arrives in the first to be processed, uh, first come first serve is considered fair since jobs are processed in the order they enter the systems. Next one is we have the SPT rule, stands for short processing time. The job with the shortest processing time requirement is given the highest priority. Moving on to the EDD role, earliest due date on the job. In this role, the job with the earliest due date is processed first in if the firm's performance is judged based on job lateness. EDD can be an effective rule. Next one is critical ratio rule. Critical ratio rule, to use a rule, a priority index is calculated using the formula due date minus now divided by lead time remaining. The job with the highest critical ratio value is given the highest priority. Critical ratio consider both due dates and lead times, making it a widely used rule in a practice. It balances the urgency of completing jobs with the remaining time available. The last one is we have LW, or least work remaining rule, an extension of SPT. uh, LWR scheduling jobs based on the processing time remaining before a job is considered complete. Jobs with less work remaining are given higher priority the production schedule. This rule takes into account the progress made on each job and aims to complete job with less remaining work as early as possible. Uh, Next one here, evaluate approaches and used for scheduling services system. So we will discuss the various approaches used for scheduling services system in organizations like medical facilities, computer centers, or bank. These approaches are particularly beneficial when the arrival of customers or job is random. We need to effectively manage the workload and maintain a high level of service quality. Anybody can hear me and can see? Okay. In service-oriented system, both the demand of for services and the time required to perform the services can be highly variable. The variability can make it seems challenging to construct a sensible schedule, especially when arrivals and services times are random. However, there is a solution to this predicament. One approach involves maintaining the capacity of the service facility at level that are sufficient to keep the waiting line at an acceptable average level. Uh, it is very important this approach effectively. Organization must carefully analyze historical data to understand pattern and trends in customer arrivals and services times. Statistical techniques and forecasting model can be employed to predict future demand and optimize the allocation of resources. Next one is scheduling personal and physical facilities in various service situations. In such scenarios, scheduling can be relatively straightforward, guided by policies that determine the operational hours and desired services level. The schedules essentially represent the capacity of services, while the allocation of personnel and resources aligned with these predetermined level. One common approach to scheduling is to employ a first come first served basis, where customers are served in the order of their arrival. Another aspect of consider is the examination of demand patterns. In many cases, there may be discussable weekly or daily pattern in the arrival of customers. Recognizing these patterns allow us to schedule more effectively, leading to improved service facility utilization, reduced average waiting times, or a combination of both. In particular, we will explore how the knowledge of arrival and services time distribution can help us optimize labor cost while maintaining desired service standards. Queuing theory is a branch of operations resources research that deals with the study of waiting lines or queues. One of the classical problem in queuing theory is the random arrival variable service time case. So this scenario often arises in various services industries where customers arrives unpredictable times and the time required to serve each customer varies. When we have a no dominant pattern in the distribution of arrivals and service times, we can utilize this information to make informed decision in scheduling personnel and allocating resources. The main objective in personnel and shift scheduling is to minimize labor costs, and while meeting specific service standards, we aim to strike a balance between these two factors, finding a happy compromise that ensure efficient staffing level without compromising the quality of services. Scheduling is that done in relation of these requirements. Finally, individual work must be assigned to work days and shift. uh, Explain how to overcome a range of unique problems uh, encounter in service system. So theory of constraints is a methodology for identifying the most important limiting factors, for example constraint that stands in the way of achieving a goal, and they systematically improving that constraint until it is no longer the limiting factor in manufacturing. The constraint is often referred as bottleneck. Theory of constraint takes a scientific approach to improvement. It hypothesizes that very complex system, including manufacturing process, consists of multiple linked activities, one of which act as a constraint upon the entire system in the weakest link in the chain. Five focusing steps are identify, exploit, subordinate, elevate, repeat. Identify, first step is to identify the current constraint. This refers to the specific part of the process that act as a bottleneck, limiting the rate at which the desired goal is achieved. It is crucial to pinpoint the constraint accurately to focus our of efforts effectively. The next one is exploit which have identified the constraint. Next step is to exploit it. Exploiting means making a quick improvement to the throughput of the constraint using existing resources. It involves maximizing the efficiency and effectiveness of the constraint to get the most out of what we already have. Subordinate in we review all other activities in the process and ensure they are aligned with and truly supported needs of the constraint. We want to eliminate any unnecessary actions to tasks that do not contribute to the constraints improvement. Elevate constraints still exist even after exploiting and subordinating. We move on the fourth step, which is elevate. At this stage, we consider what further actions can be taken to eliminate the constraint. We continue taking actions until the constraint is broken or moved somewhere else. The last one is repeat. The fifth and final step is to repeat the five focusing steps continuously once a constraint has been resolved. It is essential to immediately address the next constraint. This step reminds us to never become complacent and to continuously strive for improvement. Thinking process are specifically designed to complex system with numerous interdependencies such as manufacturing lines. These processes serve as a scientific cause and effect tools that aim to identify the root cause of undesirable effects and effectively eliminate them without creating new issues. One of the key tools with the thinking process is the current reality tree. This tool allows us to document and visualize the current state of system, highlighting areas that are unsatisfactory and it needs of improvement. By creating this diagram, we can identify undesirable effects, which are symptoms of the problem, and trace them back to their underlying causes. Another tool in the thinking process is the evaporating cloud tree. These tools help us evaluate potential improvement by resolving conflict between different approaches to problem solving. It enables us to identify specific changes referred to as injections that can eliminate UDEs within the system. Uh, the evaporating cloud tree is often used in conjunction with the current reality tree as we progress towards creating the future reality tree. Lastly, we have the strategy and tactics tree. These tools provide the actions plan for implementing the changes necessary to reach the future state. It creates a logical structure that organizes knowledge and derives knowledge and tactics from the overall strategy. The strategic and tactics tree replaces the previously used pre quest tree in the thinking process. So some references are here. So that's it today. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. If you got any question, please drop me an email at yasir@ukversity.co.uk. And my name is Yasir Gulfraz, and see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Have a good evening. Bye.